later. TT.
Outrageous question.
The beauty of public affairs is that you can cover almost anything from current news to medical breakthroughs.
When the cyst was finally diagnosed, it was as big as 4 basketballs.
You're just a madman on a farm up near Northampton.
I am ordering you to get off the bridge.
Almost unbroken career of crime. Most people don't believe politicians.
Then a bear turned on our camerawoman.
You come back in here, mate, and I'll mince you.
Mr Mandela, thank you for joining us on the Hinch program.
When Mandela was released was just a momentous time.
It's very difficult for myself and most other people to contemplate 27 years in prison.
The only time, I think, where I've ever felt that I've been in the presence of greatness.
Tonight on Only Human.
Why don't you want Asians moving into your house?
We're often sent out to stories, we're briefed about it, we get there and we find it's not what we thought.
Because I don't like the Asians, that's all there is.
You don't want them in your place?
They're just a mob of crooks, that's all they are.
Don't you know that there's a law against what you're doing?
All they're interested about is just to put the sign up. That's all. I've had Asians, so I haven't knocked them back.
What would... Oh, no, agents. Is that what you say, no Asians?
No.
You say no agents?
Agents, sorry.
See you later, mate.
That's a myth.
That quest for speed eventually cost him his life.
I'm not trying to please anyone, nor am I here to win a popularity contest, nor am I here for beauty pageant, even though I'm a good-looking woman.
Sheila Silverman, or Ma Sheila, as she was called by her followers, was known for her acid tongue.
Why won't you talk across the table and try and sort out your differences like this?
I don't want to talk to an idiot. I don't talk to idiots.
That's why I'm not done on television.
If people are going to take your book seriously, don't they have to assess you and your credibility?
Yeah, Mike Willesee is one of Australia's most famous journalists. He's known for his aggressive and his direct style of journalism.
I don't understand why you're not interested in discussing the actual work I've done.
He questioned her credibility and she didn't like it.
Why not? You wrote a book called Sexual Honesty.
I think that, you know, if this is your idea of the interview, it's not mine.
And then the very next night, it happened again.
Does that affect your credibility in any way?
Sorry, but I won't be questioned on my credibility. I've had it. I've had it. Didn't my publicist tell you about that? I'm not going to talk about things like that anymore, whatever it is.
The one and only Norman Gunston there. Now, sport has been an enormous part of our station's commitment to the people of Perth, and it's impossible to sum it all up in just a couple of minutes.
But we're going to try. There are so many great moments. We hope the few we've chosen for you capture the spirit of Seven's dedication to sport over the last 5 decades.
TVW News presents Olympic Report.
I think our first major coup for TVW7 was sending a team to the 1960 Olympic Games.
Hello, Australia. This is Sid Donovan speaking from the green slopes of Monte Mario, overlooking the Olympic Stadium in Rome.
Sid Donovan interviewed just about every Australian Olympian.
This week we spoke with some of the favoured Australian competitors, and we can assure you that most of them are in excellent form.
All he's going to see is that jail. Three world titles with one hand.
680 kilometres an hour. She rounded the 5th mark, 21 seconds clear of Liberty.
And that was the moment that we thought, bloody hell, Australia's going to win this. Australia, too, is going to win the America's Cup.
The longest winning streak in sporting history was broken. The Australians had done it.
The whole place just erupted.
They get to declare a public holiday? Yeah, exactly. No one would want to work today at any rate, would they?
The place went berserk.
The stage is set for the West Coast Eagles to run out onto the pages of history.
The pinnacle, of course, was 1992.
The Eagles are going to win their first lap.
To take on the Vics and beat the best on the land was just fantastic.
This was the moment they'd all been waiting for, and the moment Victorian footy fans had been dreading.
We really stuck it up, and you know, the arch enemy were the Victorians.
Righto, fellas, what about a lap of honour?
That was the longest lap of honour of all time because they just didn't want to go off. In the end, I think the AFL said, like, come on, you blokes, can you please leave?
I declare the Commonwealth Games open.
To introduce you to the Fremantle Dockers.
Well, you've never seen anything like it. Unbelievable.
Into carb to Hannah, who's going to get runs out through mid-wicket.
This was a Sheffield Shield match being played at the Wacker.
Look what you've got there.
The only vision that was available on this locked-off camera was a dog attempting to fertilise a particular area of grass in front of the members' bench.
Everybody's killing themselves laughing. The dogs just kept on. Stop, start, stop, start.
You know, I have to agree with Watsy. In all these years, that's still my sporting highlight on 7.
Is it?
Hilarious.
It really was very
shallow,
funny.
aren't I?
Yes, very shallow, but it made me laugh too.
Good. Football, though, is at the heart of sport here on 7, thanks to a few good blokes on a Sunday back in the 60s.
Hi, folks. Well, the footy season got off to the best start in years.
Mick Malthouse is with us. I hope you're watching Mickey Malthouse because we don't get paid as well as you.
Thank you and welcome back to the footy club.
They're just football frauds.
Footy on 7, it's been an institution.
It was absolutely compelling viewing. I mean, anyone interested in footy grew up watching Channel 7's footy show on a Sunday.
It upset Mel Brown, and Mel Brown's a clown to be upset. He's the coach. I agree on this point too.
And I remember as a kid, one particular Sunday, somebody referred to them as Dad's Army.
I'll tell you one thing, you're talking about Dad's Army, but you might get the occasion yourself to be a panellist when you're a bit grey in the hair, and then you'll know what it's like to be shot at by mugs too.
Poor old Frank Sparrow blew a fuse.
Back because I didn't cop that very sweet.
I'm getting in early, you know, we play tomorrow, so this is
That's
probably
right,
the last
be
time
careful.
I attend on.
Just be careful.
And I'll never forget, on the opener to one of those shows, because somebody had made this comment, they went out to the front of Channel 7 here and they dressed up in army fatigues and they were marching around like they were in the army. And I think there was bombs going off and there was explosions. And I remember as a kid thinking, this is brilliant.
I want to defend my panel. I don't care whether they're Dad's Army or not. They know something about football, and that's something that I reckon makes this show what it is.
Well, they used to get pretty hairy, I can tell you that.
What he did. But I'm not on trial.
Well, who's the other two judges?
There was, whew.
And while we're talking about babies, congratulations on son Mark last week.
Thanks very much, yes, we're very happy about that.
Why the name Mark?
You can't call him hand pass or kick, boom.
It was a very big coup in 1986 when Dennis Cometti came across from the ABC to Channel 7. I was a kid watching, I was in high school, but I remember it was a big deal.
It's an interesting story here with Michael Cox.
Yes. Well, actually, what happened at the Wacker today, he got hit on the knees, so WA may have to play without Cox next Sunday.
Oh, that's... not a bastard.
I used to do segments with Sir Charles Court.
Jump in. I don't know, and I was going to see you at a Warnmore Claremont Tower. Yes.
We had a Rolls Royce here. And of course, I commandeered that. And I'd sit in the back with Sir Charles.
I'm putting a bit of a plug for my Claremont boys down there. You know, they need something to give them that bit of verve. I'm determined they're going to win the premiership this year, and I think you could fix it for them.
He would have been a great actor. Oh, well, he was. What am I saying? He was a politician.
Brooksy shows in prime time. We're gonna be a part of it in Perth,
Thank you for joining us on Brooksy's Footy Show. It's that time of the night where we're not trying to embarrass them, but we're walking in on someone. Oh, that's a shocking head. Hang on a sec, look what I found here. Hey, Johnny. He's from Melbourne. I'm surprised. That's a good look, isn't it? Yeah, Mark I'm sorry about that.
Live from the studios of Channel 7 Perth, throughout Western Australia, Basil's Footy Show!
I remember thinking, hosting Basil's Footy Show, you know, this is great because I grew up watching those guys. In many ways, they were an inspiration and just part of our folklore and part of our history. To be there doing something like they had done, but many years later, was really quite special and something I got a real kick out of. We'll see you next week, Basil's Footy Show.
Yvette, what about Woosha's pyjamas?
He took it well, didn't he?
He did.
Sorry, Woosha.
Such a long and rich tradition of footy here on 7.
Simon, that's right. And just last weekend, of course, a big game dedicated to one of our favourites, Chris Mainwaring. For the people of Perth, he was more than a footballer, wasn't he? He was also our friend.
The news bulletin that was the most difficult for me to read was the night that Chris Mainwaring had died.
Maney had died. I couldn't believe it.
You just expect him to come bouncing through the door with some gag that he wanted to crack or some story that he had to tell. He was just a wonderful fella.
He was somebody who Perth loved. He was so well loved.
A lot of people would have been feeling the same pain that we were feeling here at Channel 7.
Matey was our friend, our workmate, and such a nice guy. We'll all miss you, Chris. That's where we leave you.